Hi, good morning, Little Sunshine's Daycare. This is Miss Erica, and I have an assistant with me today. This is Miss Tina.
Hi.
She works here at the library too. So we're at Minocqua Public Library right now, which is the big library downtown. So if you ever want to come here and you're looking for any books and you need help, you can ask me, Miss Erica, or Miss Tina, or any of the other librarians here. We can help you find any kind of books you're looking for. So today we have some stories by a certain author named Maurice Sendak. So we have some of Maurice's books, and he's got all kinds of books here. So if you ever want to look at some of his books, come here, we can help you find them. So we're going to do stories that were written by Maurice Sendak today. And I'm going to just get myself situated, so bear with me for a second here. But before we do Maurice Sendak's books, we're going to sing Good Morning to you. So we can put our hands together and we're going to clap and we're going to sing Good Morning, Little Sunshines. So ready? Here we go. Good morning, little sunshines. Good morning, little sunshines. Good morning, little sunshines. We're glad you're here today. All right, and I usually start out my story times with my mystery box. So we're gonna talk about my mystery box a little bit first before we get into any stories. So one of my stories today is called Chicken Soup with Rice. So my mystery box has something inside that might go along with the story Chicken Soup with Rice. So here are my 3 clues. Ready to hear them? The first one is, this is an item that's usually inside of a cupboard. And if you have any guesses while I'm saying my clues out loud, you can either keep it in your head, or if your teacher would like you to raise your hand, you can do that too. But remember, if you think you know the answer, don't just blurt it out really loud, because that will kind of ruin the surprise for everyone else. So keep it in your mouth, keep it in your head, raise your hand, whatever your teachers prefer you to do. So, all right, the first clue, again, this is something that's inside of a cupboard. The second clue, this is something that you use to eat cereal or ice cream. So the third clue is this is something that you usually use with a spoon. So I'll tell you all 3 clues again. Remember, keep it in your mouth, keep it in your head, raise your hand. Your teachers will probably call on you, I'm guessing. So here are the 3 clues again. It's something that's inside of a cupboard. That's the first clue. It's something you use to eat cereal or ice cream. That's the second clue. And it's something you usually use with a spoon. And that's the third clue. So I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. Remember, in your head. Don't say it out loud. Raise your hand. Okay. Ready to find out what it is? Miss Tina, do you want to open the box?
Yes, I'm so excited. What could it be? It's a bowl. Ooh.
So, a nice pretty blue bowl too. So it's a bowl that you might eat chicken soup with rice out of. And look at this story. I'm going to get a little bit closer. This story has a boy on the cover, and he's holding a bowl and a spoon. So it's called Chicken Soup with Rice. And remember, the author is Maurice Sendak. So we're reading some of Maurice's stories today. And Maurice, he's kind of a silly guy. He likes to write silly stories that use your imagination and use his creativity. And sometimes he likes to create stories or situations or scenarios that are kind of like make-believe and silly and kind of crazy. So this story might not have really anything to do with chicken soup with rice, but we'll have to find out. So I'm reading this story with permission from HarperCollins Publishers today, and they are the company that made the book, put the whole book together. And there's our little guy. He's eating some chicken soup with rice, and I think he's eating with a goblin. We'll have to find out more about that. So before I begin this story, one of the kind of neat things about this little book is that it has to do with chicken soup and rice, but the cool thing is that this story is kind of like a calendar. It has a different page for each month of the year. Maybe you're talking about the months of the year at daycare, but this story will go along with the months of the year. And maybe something kind of fun that your teachers might let you do is every month that we come to, if your birthday's in that month, maybe you can raise your hand. Don't blurt it out, because it gets a little bit too loud then. Just raise your hand. So if that's okay with you teachers, you can have them raise their hand for their birthday month. So here's our first month. Our very first month of the year is called January. And in January, it's usually winter and really cold. So this guy has ice skates. And look, there's our ice skate. So we're gonna have little pictures that go along with the pages of our book. So the first one's an ice skate. And it says, in January, it's so nice while slipping on the sliding ice to eat hot chicken soup with rice. And we're gonna do some motions with this book too. So the first motion is sipping. So he's sipping soup. Pretend you're sipping soup. So it says, sipping once, sipping twice, sipping chicken soup with rice. All right, that's January. Our next month is February. February is also a cold winter month. As you can see, we have a snowman. And here's our very own snowman, our Storytime snowman. So it says, in February, it will be my snowman's anniversary with cake for him and soup for me. And it says, happy once, happy twice, happy chicken soup with rice. So we're going to pretend to eat a piece of cake. Happy once, happy twice, happy chicken soup with rice. Mmm, yum, yum. I like cake. Here's the third month. This is March. And in March, it's usually really windy. You can see the wind there coming in the door. And here's our wind. And the wind is probably going to blow like this. So we're going to do a little bit of blowing for this page. In March, the wind blows down the door and spills my soup upon the floor. It laps it up and roars for more, blowing once, blowing twice, blowing chicken soup with rice. Now here is our next month, which is April. It says, in April, I will go away to far off Spain or old Bombay and maybe ride an elephant. Here's our elephant, our Storytime elephant. And dream about hot soup all day. Oh my oh once, oh my oh twice, oh my oh chicken soup with rice. And this time we can pretend to be an elephant. Because there's an elephant in old Bombay. Next we have May. And in May, it's starting to become springtime and all the birds are coming out and having babies and little baby chicks and bunnies. And there's our very own robin. And robins are a sign of spring. And here's a robin in our story too. It says, in May, I truly think it best to be a robin in a nest, or lightly dressed, concocting soup inside my nest. So isn't that kind of silly? He's mixing soup inside of his nest. So we're gonna mix too. Mixing once, mixing twice. Mix that chicken soup with rice. Mix it good. All right, the next month is June. And in June, it's starting to be summer and all the flowers are starting to bloom. And one of those flowers is a rose. Here's our rose. It says, in June, I saw a charming group of roses all begin to droop. I pepped them up with chicken soup. So he's going to pour some chicken soup on the roses to pep them up. And we're going to sprinkle it on. So can you sprinkle with me? Sprinkle once, sprinkle twice, sprinkling chicken soup with rice. Now it's July, and July is a really, really hot month, probably the hottest month of the year. It's during the summertime, and usually in the summertime, we do a lot of swimming. So he's gonna be swimming with the fish and with the turtles. And here's our turtle, little turtle for story time. So it says, in July, I'll take a peep into the cool and fishy deep, where chicken soup is selling cheap. So this turtle, this is a really silly thing. He is selling chicken soup at the bottom of the ocean. How funny is that? So we're gonna sell our soup, we're gonna pass it out like this. Selling once, selling twice, selling chicken soup with rice. Next is August, and in August it's really hot. And it gets really hot as a cooking pot. So here's our cooking pot. A little red cooking pot. In August it will be so hot I will become a cooking pot. Cooking soup, of course. Why not? So when we cook, we give off steam like this pot. So we're going to steam up. So it says cooking once, cooking twice, cooking chicken soup with rice. Here's September, and now we're starting to get into the fall season. It's starting to get a little bit cooler, and still kind of nice out though. You could maybe take a little vacation in September, just like this guy is. He went down to Egypt though. It says, in September, for a while, I will ride a crocodile. How silly. There's our crocodile. Down the chicken soupy Nile. So he thinks the Nile River, which is the river he's in, is made of chicken soup. That's crazy, isn't it? So we're gonna paddle down the Nile. Get your paddle out. Here we go. Paddling once, paddling twice, paddling chicken soup with rice. Now we have October. And in October is a holiday called Halloween. And on Halloween, there's lots of witches and ghosts and goblins. And here's our witch. It says, in October, I'll be host to witches, goblins, and a ghost. There's another goblin. I'll serve them chicken soup on toast. So we're going to pretend that we're buttering some toast. I'm going to use my book. You can use your hand. Here's my toast. And this month has a really silly word with it. It says whoopee. So we're going to say whoopee once, whoopee twice, whoopee chicken soup with rice. The next month is November, and we just ended November yesterday. In November, it's starting to get kind of windy and a little bit colder and close to winter time. So it says, in November's gusty gale, I will flop my flippy tail. I'll spout hot soup. I'll be a whale. There's our whale. And this is really silly. This whale has soup coming out of its blowhole. So we're going to pretend to spout like the whale. It says spouting once, spouting twice, spouting chicken soup with rice. And the very last month of the year, which is the year that we're in right now, and it's the start of winter, and a very special holiday that's coming up. Can you guess what it is? Christmas. It says, in December, I will be a baubled, bangled Christmas tree. With soup bowls draped all over me. So I just put up my Christmas tree. If you put your Christmas tree up recently, did you decorate it with soup bowls? No. See, he's being really silly again, isn't he? So we're gonna pretend to decorate our tree this time with soup bowls. And we're gonna say, merry once, merry twice, merry chicken soup with rice. I told you once, I told you twice, all seasons of the year are nice for eating chicken soup with rice. Here he is at the end, eating chicken soup again. This time he's eating with a little bird. Remember at the beginning he was eating with, do you remember who it was? A goblin. So this was a silly book by Maurice Sendak. about different silly things you can do with chicken soup with rice throughout the whole year, all the months of the year. So, thank you. While we read that story, Miss Tina showed us some pictures that corresponded with the months of the year and the pages that we read. So that means that these pictures appeared in those pages somewhere. And I thought it might be kind of fun to see if you guys know your animals. So we're going to do a little sorting game, and we're going to figure out which of these pictures are animals and which pictures are not animals. And we're going to put all the animals on this side and all the not animals over here. And the things that are not animals could be people or objects or plants or even types of weather. So I'm going to show Miss Tina a picture, and then she's going to guess whether or not it's an animal. So, all right, ready? Here's the first one.
Wind.
It's wind. And is that an animal?
Is that an animal? No.
Nope, we'll put it over on this side, so that's not an animal. Here's the next one.
An elephant.
It's an elephant. Is that an animal?
Yes.
Yay, we'll put it on this side. Here's the next one.
An ice skate.
There's an ice skate. Is that an animal?
No.
Nope, we'll put it on that side. All right, here's the next one.
A crocodile.
Crocodile. Is that an animal?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an animal. He goes on this side. Next we have
A pot.
a pot. Is a pot an animal?
No.
No, that'd be silly if that was an animal. All right, here's the next one.
A snowman.
Little snowman. Are snowmen animals?
Has eyes and a mouth. No.
No, he's made of snow, isn't he? All right, next we have
A rose.
a rose. Is that an animal?
No.
Nope. And now we have a
witch.
a witch. Is that an animal?
No.
Nope. Nope. All right, and now we have a
The robin.
robin, a little birdie. Is that an animal?
Yes.
Yay, robins are animals. And now we have a
whale.
whale. Is that an animal?
Yes.
Yay, that one's an animal. We have two left. Let's try this one.
A tree. A Christmas tree.
Is that an animal, do you think?
No.
Nope. We're going to put it over here. And the very last one we have is a
turtle.
little turtle. Are turtles animals?
Yes.
Yes, it is. There he is. So, you guys did great helping me sort. Miss Tina did a great job. So, here are all of the animals from that story. A whale, a turtle, a robin, a crocodile, and an elephant. And then here are all the other objects from the story that were not animals. We had a Christmas tree, a pot, a witch, some wind, an ice skate, a snowman, and a rose. All right, so my next story, maybe you guys know this story. It's kind of a popular, common, well-known story. It's called Where the Wild Things Are. It's also by Maurice Sendak. He's the author. Remember, he wrote the story. And the company that made the book and put all the pages together with the cover is HarperCollins Publishers. And I'm going to read this with their permission today. So, it says, "The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind, and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, 'I'll eat you up.' So he was sent to bed without eating anything." He was kind of not listening, was he? He was being kind of mischievous. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Look at the trees. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. You see a wild thing there, ready to greet him? And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with a magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened, and they called him the most wild thing of all. And made him the king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." So now they're going to have a wild rumpus. We're going to see what they do during their rumpus. Here they are. Looks like they're dancing around or marching around, kind of yelling, growling. Here they are hanging on trees. Here they are having a little parade, making some more mischief. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled some good things to eat. So he gave up being the king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. So that's the end of Where the Wild Things Are. Maybe you could raise your hand if you know that story, if you've ever read that story before or had someone read that story to you. If you recognize it, raise your hand. All right, awesome. So in the book, Where the Wild Things Are, when Max came to the island with the wild things, they had a wild rumpus. So they had kind of like a parade and a party, and they danced and they growled and they roared and they gnashed their teeth and they showed their claws. So we're gonna stand up. Christina and I are gonna move our chairs. And we're gonna move the computer back a little bit so you can see us better. All right. Maybe a little bit further back. There we go. So we're gonna have a wild rumpus parade. So you guys can stand up and we're gonna pretend to be wild things. So maybe you wanna have your teacher help you get into a circle or a line. And you can turn sideways so that you can follow each other around. We're gonna have a little wild rumpus parade. So while we make our wild rumpus, pretend you're a wild thing. Show your terrible claws. You can roll your eyes. You can growl. You can gnash your teeth. But remember, be respectful of those around you. We don't want to hit. We don't want to touch. We don't want to do anything that could harm others or make them uncomfortable. So stay in your own little space. We're going to turn sideways and we're going to march. Ready? Here we go. We'll go around 3 more times. March your knees up high. One more time. And stop. Be still. All right. That's all we have for you today. We're going to end story time like we always do with our zoom, zoom, zoom. So put your hands together. Ready? Here we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. If you'd like to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Bye! We'll see you again in about a month.
Bye.